Midnight Double Feature presents Bad Crystal, a Breaking Bad podcast. On this episode, we bring you Season 2, Episode 2, Grilled. Written by George Mistras and directed by Charles Hayde. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Bad Crystal. Thank you for joining us this week for Grilled, episode 2 of season 2. We're diving right back into the world of Walter White and Jesse Pinkman. Colin, what's happening?
Hey, what's up, dude? I'm doing good. I'm excited. I'm excited about this episode because I actually, this might be one of my favorite episodes of the series so far. I was like, dude, this one's really good. I think that's what I
told you. I think that's what I teased at the end of 737, the last episode. I was just like, dude, Grilled is one of my favorite episodes in the entire series.
Yes, it's very, very good. I like this a lot. You can really see the show start to take shape here.
100%. Let's do a little quick recap here. So we got, so 737 ended with Jesse and Walt being held hostage and driven out towards the night, into the night rather, by Tuco. Skyler was just left in the bathtub as Walt just kind of like left. So that's kind of like where we're at, man. Tell me you started it already. You know what? Before you do tell me, I'm going to fucking plug some shit, actually. You know what? I haven't fucking done it in ages, so I'm just going to do it. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here at Bad Crystal. This is our Breaking Bad podcast. This is our kind of like our side gig, right? Like, I want to say a side gig, but it's picking up a lot of steam. And I just want to thank our listeners of Bad Crystal for sticking by us and supporting us, because this has been a great venture, a great little project for us. Our main show is called Midnight Double Feature, where we talk about movies and we talk about film and TV and all that stuff. You know, we just recorded our Air Force One episode. That was a nice little palate cleanser after our latest episode, which was 7. David Fincher's 7, which is heavy. That went really heavy. That was really fun. But we also cover, the latest movies that are out in the cinema. We review them. Those are called Upcoming Attractions with Matt, our other co-host. So you can go ahead and follow that. That's called Midnight Double Feature. We're on Twitter, which is at MDF Pod, Instagram at Midnight Double Feature. Our main sort of community comes together on Facebook in a group called The After Party. Please go ahead and follow that. We have our Patreon, which is about to heat up, man. Like, we've got some shit on there, like Daredevil commentary track. We've got The Mummy, the Stephen Sommers Mummy movie. We've got, what else do we have? Child's Play 2.
Shooting the shit episodes.
Yeah, shooting the shit episodes. This being the month of October, we're about to drop some horror movies on there. That's going to be some really interesting to talk about. This being the month of the demon, of the devil, we're ready. We are ready. So please go ahead and follow that. If you want to join and become a member, it's only $5. There's no other tiers. There's no $20 tier or bullshit where we strip down and you get to, win our worn panties or some shit. You don't get any of that. Just head to patreon.com/Midnight Double Feature, or if that's too hard for you, you can just head to midnightdoublefeature.com and find everything that we own ever, including a link to becoming a fan or donating to us, or merchandise. We also have t-shirts that you can wear proudly. I'm wearing one right now. I actually really dig it, dude. I fucking love this t-shirt, actually.
I think mine's hanging out like behind me somewhere.
I haven't taken it off, dude. It smells like shit. But look, guys, thank you so much for the support. We really appreciate it. Let's get into season 2, episode 2, Grilled of Breaking Bad. Colin, talk to me about your overall episode thoughts. You've already kind of like, you spilled your hand a little bit, right? You've tipped your hand. Yeah, hit me.
Yeah, I like this episode a lot. It's kind of it seems like a natural progression of I think I kind of hit the nail on the head last episode when I was like, what comes up must come down, because I've kept saying that, like, we've had success. What is the fallout of that success? And not only is there fallout of that success with, Tuco and what's going on in Heisenberg's life, but there's fallout of that from Walter's life. Like, it's a double-edged dick that he's fallen on. And what I like about that is it kind of always bothered me that, like, he's leaving, he's going somewhere, there's no repercussions of it. Everyone's just like, oh, he has cancer, whatever, he's fine. There hasn't really been a lot of talk about where the fuck Walter goes and why he's, blah, blah, until this season. There really hasn't been that much talk about it. But not only that, the heating up of your brother-in-law being a DEA agent also is just like, I need to see more of that start to become a problem. And right here in season 2, I mean, God, he is eye contact level away from looking at Hank and being like, oh shit, like, well, what the fuck are you doing out here? Like, that's the kind of shit that blows my mind. What I've really looked forward to is, how was, Walter can't always be able to kill his way out or talk his way out of something. So what are the repercussions that are going to come from this? And I like this episode a lot because, for one thing, it's extremely simplistic. This is not something like Crazy Heist, or we have like a bank robbery, or we have a lot of intrinsic, a lot of intricate stuff going on. It's really interesting just to see a couple of guys kind of get kidnapped and kept in a room. It's very, very, very simple. I really enjoyed that. It's very character based, but it's also got a really cool chunk of plot behind it. It almost feels like when they're hanging out with Tuco in the desert, it almost feels like fucking Reservoir Dogs or something, or like Misery. It's very closed in and kind of claustrophobic and like stuck with a bull in a china shop with a locked door. So I enjoyed this episode a lot. I really like seeing Hank is the MVP of this episode. Holy shit. This is such a great episode for Hank in so many different ways. But also
action-wise and drama-wise, right? Like, man, this is the same that he has with Jesse's mom. Yeah.
And also Jesse himself, like, there's a great where he's like, yeah, I'd fucking kill his ass. He's like, shut up, bitch. He's like, okay. And he immediately shuts down. It's like, Jesse has some really good moments in this as well. It made me laugh and really made me think. Seeing him get to kick fucking Tuco in the ribs, I was like, yes. Like, I actually verbally was like, yes, like, that's awesome. So I enjoyed this episode a lot. If this is the indication of where the show is going, I'm really excited because, I think every episode is going to be like this? No, not really. It may not be this like sizzling. I think it'll be this good, but it's not going to have this much like shoot 'em up, some guy unloading an AK into a car, like type shit. You know what I mean? All in all, I really did enjoy it though, especially Hank. I think Hank is the fucking MVP of this episode. And even the shit with like Skyler and Marie, they touch on just a little bit. And I was like, surely they're not going to talk about this right now with Walt disappearing. Skyler's like, just not now. I was like, realistic, love it. That's exactly what I would do. I fucking love that.
Absolutely, dude. I think you absolutely hit the nail on the head. Like, this feels like a culmination episode. Like, like things have been leading up to this confrontation, right? Like this big moment. Did you have any idea when you started this episode that Tuco was going to die? Did you think that he was going to be another, like he was supposed to be carried on and become this huge kind of like monolithic bad guy?
No, I didn't know that he was going to die. I knew that something, I mean, I guess I realized something was going to happen when I got to the point where he was like at, before sundown, my guys are showing up and we're going to Mexico. It's like, well, obviously something happens. And it's like, this is not a character who will let these people go willingly. So something kind of has to happen. I know Jesse and Walt don't die, so somebody's got to die. And it's not either one of them. So I kind of, by process of deduction, kind of figured that out, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, when Raymond Cruz actually got the role of Tuco back in last season, he didn't feel like he was up to it. Like, it's a very big character. Like, like he's very loud, he's very brash, he's very offensive and intense. And Raymond Cruz actually had misgivings about, he had second thoughts about taking the role. He actually asked Vince Gilligan, hey, can you kill me off? He actually asked him, and he's like, hey man, can you please kill me off? Because I don't think I'm up to the task. I don't think I'm up to this. And Vince Gilligan kind of like reassured him and was like, hey, don't worry, man. I think you've got this. Because I think, man, Raymond Cruz as Tuco is brilliant. Like, he is so over the top, dude. And like once we get introduced to characters later on in the show that are villainous antagonists, who are much quieter and well subdued, and more in that way come across as more, I guess, scary, or more kind of like like, you know, the more kind of like settled they are, the more scary they are. Whereas like this guy doesn't hide anything. He's not subtle about anything at all. Like if he has a thought, he'll make it known. Like, you know, if he's not scared at all. And like that in a lot of ways reduces the, I guess, scare factor for a lot of people.
It's like an iceberg. You know? It's like I see the tip, like somebody like Hannibal Lecter. It's like what I see on the surface is barely a scratch of what's really underneath. Versus Tuco, it's like it's probably not going to get much worse than this, you know?
Absolutely. I do want to say, though, Tuco does make a return in Better Call Saul. And Raymond Cruz makes a return in Better Call Saul.
I think we talked about that, yeah.
Yeah, probably. And like look, we'll get to Better Call Saul eventually, whatever. But yeah, man, this is a fantastic episode in the show, in season 2. It might be my favorite episode of season 2. I think there's another episode that might have some hefty competition with this. But what I like about this episode, dude, is that it's just how far removed this is from the preceding episodes. Like, you know, like it's just like we've got these characters out in an area and a location that we've never seen before. It's not Albuquerque. There's like no comfort here. There's like no level of like chill. Like it's just totally fish out of water. What the fuck is going to happen? This situation is just so far beyond us. And I don't know how to deal with this, but we're going to need to come up with some kind of plan on the fly to help us get out of this situation. And that is something that is kind of like, that becomes a trademark of Walter White. Like kind of like, you know, I'm in this situation and now I kind of like need to quickly think on my feet to get myself out of the situation, you know? And that's the way the writers work as well. We've talked about this a bunch of times, right? Like this is the only season that was pre-planned and pre-scripted. Other seasons are kind of like, let's write these characters into a corner as best we can and try and figure out a way for them to get out of it. So yeah, man, I think this episode is absolutely fantastic, and I'm keen to get into it. So let's get into it. We get this cold open, shots of the desert, there's shit strewn all over the place, a baby's rattle, bullet casings, a shadow moving rhythmically, and then we get shots of Jesse's car just bouncing away. Did you think that people were having sex in this car?
Because I was going to say, I thought it was Walter just with Skyler bent over a washer dryer, just fucking railing her. Yeah, dude, that's the first thing that I thought. My mind
went like straight to the dirty. Like, you know, the first time I saw this, dude, I'm just like, yes. Someone's getting pumped.
Right. That's the first thing I thought, was just like, all right, well, so Skyler has taken it to the level of desert floor sex. That's amazing. That's a good level. That's a hard level to get to.
Totally, dude. But like, I love this cold open, man, because, well, I like the idea of like cold opens like this in general, because it just makes you ask questions. Like, it's just like, how the fuck do you get to this moment? Like, you know, like, you're giving me the face. You're giving me the face.
I like it. I don't want to see much more of it, though. I don't want to see a lot of these, because maybe one a season is okay, but I also am not a fan of, like, you know, seeing a bunch of dead bodies on the floor, there's blood everywhere, and blah, 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 and someone's like, so this is how I got into this. And it's like, okay, like, I don't mind seeing the aftermath of it, but I can pretty much figure out, like, there was a gun, somebody shot Jesse's car, and that happened. And I'm like, okay, it's not like there's a wolf playing with a jack-in-the-box on the rings of Saturn, jacking off on a ghost or something. It's like, okay, whoa, what the fuck is that? You know, it's like, it's not that far stretched. Like, okay, well, something probably happens to Jesse and Walter and Tuco. It's like, okay.
All I'm going to say is that there will be more this season. And like, not really to the extent of this, like, you know, where it's like bullet casings around everywhere, the car's like rocking up and down. Like, this cold open gets solved in this episode. Like, you know, like, let's think back to the first episode of this season where you get that pool and the teddy bear, and that didn't get resolved in that episode, right? Like there's going to be more of that pool kind of like teddy bear thing that gets resolved at the end of the season. It's a cold open, but it kind of like services the season and not really the episode, if that makes sense.
That I don't. If it comes back a couple of episodes later, that I'm actually kind of like, okay, that's cool. But seeing it all wrapped up in the same one is kind of like, I don't really need that, you know?
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, like it's a bit take it or leave it. I mean, like I think it's a cool open. It's a cool way to start your episode, if anything. But yeah, let's get into this. So title card, Breaking Bad. Hank briefs his team. Apparently they raided Tuco's house, tells them to study his face and file and get a big old raging hard on at the idea of catching this piece of shit. Did you notice how when he slaps a little bit of foreshadowing here, when he slaps Tuco's photo onto the silhouette, it's on the head kind of thing. Yeah. Kind of like a headshot.
Right.
Yeah.
Nah, I figured that was just something they did like cute, but dude, yeah, I like this. I like Hank kind of like revving these guys up, but there's a guy who's next to Hank, like when he pins it up right around the 3:30 mark, you can see him pinning it to the head. The guy with like the white goatee and the glasses looks like fucking Master Roshi from Dragon Ball Z. And I was like, what the fuck is that guy doing there? I laughed. I was like, that's all I could think of.
That's a good pull, dude. I love it. Hank believes that Tuco is the prime suspects in the disappearance of their informant, Crazy 8, and that El Paso have notified them that he may have cartel connections. So this is an interesting tidbit, and it's kind of thrown away a little bit in this episode, but we're kind of like getting the sense that that Tuco is a bigger part of a larger network, right?
He's a finger on a hand connected to a goddamn big arm. It's like, oof.
Exactly. And when you start throwing around the C word, right, the cartel word, like that's when things start to get wild, right?
Right.
Just keep El Paso in mind. Like this is obviously the DA down in El Paso. Just keep that in mind. Like they start to play into it, factor into it a bit more, because that's what Breaking Bad is, right? Like Breaking Bad is the story of Walter White, but also at the same time, the story of the way the Drug Enforcement Administration polices the border as well. Like it's very interesting because it's a personal story, but also in terms of like narcotics policy or anti-narcotics policy in the United States works. It's kind of fascinating in that way. Like it tells a very intimate story, but also like a very overarching story as well. He shows them the photo of Nodos, this guy that they found in the junkyard. Anyone want to see the photos? They're on my website, says Hank.
Jesus. So fucking unprofessional and ridiculous.
So unprofessional, dude. Turns out they got the bloody fingerprint from Tuco. I still don't understand this.
How he left behind a bloody fingerprint?
Yeah.
Is it on the body? That's the only way it makes any sense.
It's not on the body. It's on one of the car, like kind of like on the cars, like the stack.
Yeah, because he beats the shit out of him and then just leaves him. He never walks over and touches any of the cars.
Right, right. And like he doesn't know that Gonzo is dead. I'm thinking it might have just been like a writing kind of like hole or something. Maybe I'll look it up. I'll write down myself a little note, see if I can like look anything up. But it just didn't really track for me. I'm just like, is that a little bit of a plot hole there? I don't know how he got.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that makes sense though. Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. So Christmas came early, but all they got to do is find this guy. He gets his team all stoked up. Hell yeah. And as soon as the door closes, we're not going to find him. He's probably halfway to Mexico right now.
I had to pause the episode. I laughed so hard. And he's like, right? What is this? What's this weak shit? All right, let me get a hell. Let me get a yeah. Yeah, let me get a hell yeah. And they're like, yeah. And I actually really enjoyed. The thing is, it sucked me in because it's like, dude, cool. I like this. And then he walks out the door and he's like, yeah, they're never going to catch him. And I was like, it reminds me of Age of Ultron. He's like, never surrender. And he's like, I am going to surrender. And I just fucking laughed out loud. I was like, that's amazing.
It's kind of like, he cares about his team's kind of like morale, right? Like, like it's just like, Let's try and boost my team's morale, but at the same time, I'm a realist. Like he's good enough of a cop to know that this is his probably next action.
Plus, if you go in there and you tell the guys, well, this guy's probably halfway to Mexico, we're never going to catch him. Nobody's going to give a shit. Why waste your time?
Exactly. Hank tells Gomez that he's going to take some personal time because Walt's missing. And then we get this scene with Skyler talking to this guy, Tim, from Albuquerque PD, giving him Walt's description. This guy, the guy that plays Tim, same exact actor, same exact character, ends up playing a pretty big part in Better Call Saul. Like, I just love I just love these little things that come around, dude. Like, it's just like it feels pre-planned, but it wasn't. And Vince Gilligan just takes these little kind of like tidbits and applies them to his other show, and it just feels like it feels like an MCU. Like, you know, it's fantastic.
Dude, I cannot shake and I'm probably just looking at it wrong, but when the shot is it's like from the front door looking to the dining room, and you see him with Walt Jr. and Skyler, and you see the outside, dude, it looks like it's snow. It looks like there's snow all over the ground. And I know I'm probably just looking at that wrong. It's right around the little after 6 minute mark, maybe 6:10, 6:11. But it looks like snow everywhere. And I'm like, dude, am I fucking blind? And I was like, I mean, it's New Mexico. I know it's not snowing out there. I was like, but still, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it kind of made me laugh. I was like, surely it's like some kind of like reflection or something I'm looking at wrong, you know, some kind of almost like optical illusion.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too. It might even just be the way the sun kind of like reflects off the leaves or something.
Right.
Like, you know?
That's what I'm like, yeah, it looks weird. It looks like white outside.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's a good pickup. So,
no, it's not.
No, it's fucking terrible. So Tim asks whether she's been depressed, and both Skyler and Walt Jr. just look at each other. She says he was, quote, agitated last night and upset. And Tim wants to kind of like drill down on this, and Skyler answers with, quote, he said, I don't know where to begin, and he walked outside, and he's just gone, right? Interesting, because it's just like this is the part where we find out about the phone call, right? Like, she asked about the phone call, saying that Walt's phone rang, she pulled it out, didn't answer, and he just wandered out. And I love the reaction of the cop here, Tim. He doesn't acknowledge it. Like, he just kind of like takes it in, he listens to her, and then he just asks if there's anything else. Like, you know, like, it's just like,
I think he knows. It's like, well, Hank's probably run that call. He probably knows what's up. I'm not going to go into it, because if he hasn't brought it up, I'm not going to be the one to dig into it right now.
Right. And lo and behold, like outside in private, Hank says, hey, I ran the cell phone, and there's no records. So we're thinking a different phone. How good of police work is that, dude? Like, it's just incredible. I love it. Is Skyler a dick here? Right? Like, she's, I get it. Like, you know, I get that she's being aggressive because she's under a lot of stress, right? I mean, like, you know, she checked every hospital within 50 miles. By the way, 50 miles?
Jesus.
And every police station and every morgue? What the fuck?
I don't think, yes, she's being a dick, but it's also, you know, it's not one of those things where I guess she's being unreasonable. She's under a lot of stress. She's been going through a lot of stuff. And then immediately, as soon as she says it, she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't,
She acknowledges it. Yeah. She knows she's being aggressive.
Even if she didn't, I don't hold that against her.
Totally. And then, dude, as soon as we get, you know, like, they surmise that it was a second cell phone, amazing transition to a cell phone just flying midair and just hitting the ground. I believe I can fly. It's so good, dude. As a fucking M16 wielding Tuco is just tossing them into the desert. Man, he's got this like giant fucking assault rifle that he means business. Walt and Jesse is sweating it out in the trunk of Jesse's car as Walt imagines seeing Skyler. And when Tuco opens the trunk and she says, I understand. What did you think about this, right? This kind of like vision.
I remember when I could pop batteries out of my cell phone. And it was a long time ago. And there was a bush in the White House. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I remember my phone fucking up and just plopping that thing out. It's really cool because it's nothing. If he meant no harm, then he would not be doing this. The fact that he is disposing of any kind of communication with the outside world is not a good sign. Like, that's, I don't want anybody to know you're out here. And they're like, oh, Jesus, that's not good.
No, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. And then we get this shot of like, dude, this Tarantino shot of like Jesse looking up at Tuco, like with the trunk. That is horrifying, man. Just always pointing the M16 at him. Oh.
Right. what cracks me up is he opens up the trunk and Jesse has the tire iron. I'm like, you maybe should have held on to that. You maybe should have stashed that away in those, size 34 on an 18-inch waist Jinko jeans you got. Like,
oh man, Walt pleads with Tuco not to do this before Tuco orders them into this dingy ass shack, dude. This place, by the way, this place looks like hell. Like from here forth, like henceforth, I'm gonna refer to this place as hell. Like, does no one wipe the walls down or some shit? I feel like I'm gonna walk into this place and get hepatitis, man. Like,
it looks like a place for like the people from the Hills Have Eyes, like rape families. It's like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck, man?
Just say it, man. They call inbreds. Just
right,
say it.
yeah. Transporters.
Guys, remember to vote in November.
Yeah, right.
Meanwhile, Skyler and Maria. Oh, by the way, this episode might come out after the election. So I just sounded fucking dated. Oh fuck. Meanwhile, Skyler and Maria are handing out missing persons flyers all around town, asking if anyone's seen Walt. I like this, man. Like, I like the. It feels urgent. There's a sense of urgency about it. There's a sense of like he could have killed someone. And I don't care. I'm still looking for him. Like she knows that something's wrong, something's up, something's out of the ordinary, but she's still committing to getting him back safely. I really like this from Skyler's part.
Yeah, well, she's not one to even pregnant, and she could be cross-eyed, barefoot, and pregnant, but she would still be like, well, I can't just sit here and like do nothing, like it's almost like a Oracle from Batman type situation. Like, even though I'm confined in a way, I cannot just sit here and do absolutely nothing, especially when it's like her, even if she weren't pregnant and even if Walter didn't have cancer, there would still be an urgency, but it's like, it's like, script or screenwriting 101 is like when you have a pregnant woman with a son who has cancer, and a son who has a disability, it's just like, bam, bam, bam. It's like fucking 3 punches in a row, and then that guy's gone. Oh, fuck, man.
There's only so much a person can take, right? I mean, just talk about that mental gymnastics and mental walls that you just got to put up. Fucking wild.
Right.
Marie says he'll turn up and that Walt doesn't strike her as the type of person to hurt himself. And, man, Marie's got a lack of awareness. And I'm wondering if it makes if she's on the spectrum, because she brings up the farce about the tiara, which, by the way, she's not relenting on. She's still lying about it. Right?
She's like, I can't believe that you thought. And I'm like, lady, Jesus, wrong place, wrong time.
Lack of awareness about the situation, right? Because Skyler just straight up tells her, Marie, not now. Just don't hit me with this right now. I don't need this.
Right? Who gives a shit about this right this second? I don't care.
Totally. Back at the home, Walt Jr. is printing off more flyers, and we get an ominous shot of the box that we know contains the money and gun. It's just sitting there, dude.
Dude, and the flyer's sitting right next to it on the floor. So somebody's going to come along and clean up and grab that shit. I'm like, oh.
Tension. We see Walt and Jesse sitting here in what looks like hell, like I said, staring at this old guy in the wheelchair. Do you know this actor? Mark Margolis?
I know him from, he was in Daredevil that we just talked about. Yeah,
yes.
That's the last thing I've seen him in recently.
Yeah, I talked about him on that episode being in Breaking Bad. I was like, get ready.
yeah, I've seen him a lot.
Well, he's in Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, right? He's, yes, Satan.
Oh, okay. It's been years. Damn.
Yeah, that's him. But yeah, he plays Hector Salamanca. Look, no spoilers here. He's a player. He's a player in Breaking Bad.
I know what happens to him.
Do you? Oh, fuck.
Yes.
God damn it.
Not going to ruin anything. Because I don't know the circumstances of anything.
Sure. He's an incredible player in Breaking Bad. Pretty much, probably even better in Better Call Saul. Dude, he is a powerhouse in both shows, man. He's fantastic.
And a fantastic singer and tap dancer in Better Call Saul. It's incredible. Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Somebody get some meth.
Oh, fuck. They empty their pockets and Walt pulls out the rice-and-laced meth. Tuco checks their identification. And, dude, this dumb motherfucker actually thought that his name was Heisenberg.
What a stupid, I wanted Walter to be like, your real name's not Tuco, is it? And he'd be like, yeah, it is. And he'd be like, oh, sorry.
He says, I like doing business with a family man. There's always a lot of collateral. And like, man, this is the moment when I watched this episode that I knew that Tuco wasn't making it out alive. This was the first indication.
Well, and you can see Walter like concerned, and then you can see Heisenberg like, rawr! Like you can see the face of Heisenberg like, I'll rip your fucking eyes out, dude. Like,
it's like good. Jekyll and Hyde, right? Like, you know, the hide is like clawing out beneath under his eyes, dude.
Yes.
Oh, so good. Tuco laughs at the condom in Jesse's wallet, right? Like, it's interesting. The stuff that he finds in each wallet is so telling of each of their identities. Right, like because in Walt's wallet has the photos of his family, and Jesse's has just a condom. Right, it's just interesting.
He's like, "What do you need a condom? I always raw dog."
Well, that's what I was gonna say. It's like, hey, man, like, do you have something against safe sex? Like, he's probably like just riddled with like STIs.
Right. Wait, what?
STIs.
STDs?
It's been renamed to STIs.
Is it really? Son of a bitch! Yeah. I didn't know that.
So
I gotta text some people real quick.
It might. Oh shit! Hey, what's that on your? Is that a cold sore?
Yeah. Why do you think I have a beard grown out?
It might be. I think. Yeah, I know, right? It's fucking trying to hide it. It might be an Australian change though, because it's sexually transmitted infections. I remember in high school we definitely called it STDs, and I remember we were specifically told that it's been changed, but I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah. The more you know. Midnight Double feature all about safe sex.
MDF, STD, you and me, C and Z.
That's it. Oh man, Tuco tells them that the riddle. Oh, sorry, that the riddle. I was talking about STIs. Tuco tells them that the DEA raided his place, picked up his crew, everybody except Gonzo, and asks if they talked. Tuco assumes that Gonzo talked to the cops, and he just explodes. Right, the next time I see him, I'm gonna gut him, dude. He is explosive.
Yes, and I like Tuco here, but there's also. Walt and Jesse have gotten extremely lucky on two accounts. One thing, Hank and the DEAs think that Tuco has killed Crazy 8. So that's one thing. They've managed to lateral their way out of that. And now, and don't get me wrong, Walt and Jesse had nothing to do with what's his name? The Gonzo. Guy who got his arm. Yeah, well, the guy who got his arm ripped off. Is that Gonzo?
Yeah. Gonzo.
Okay, which one's is it? Which one's was it? Nodos or whatever the hell his name is.
So Nodos was the guy that Tuco punched to death,
beat to death. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so not that they had anything to do with his death that I guess we know of. They never really explained exactly what happened, but it is again, it's somebody assuming something that they're also using that to their advantage. Though, oh, there's this guy you haven't seen in a couple of days, and he was kind of sour about you killing somebody. Oh, it must be him. Definitely not us. And they're like they're like dabbing the sweat on their forehead like profusely. They're lateraling. They're getting very lucky, basically, is what I'm saying. A little too lucky.
There's a lot of that throughout the series. There's a lot of them like getting lucky, but not out of like writing kind of like convenience. It's more about just the situation itself and like, you know, a logical leap and a logical assumption that some people would make, you know, like Tuco's assumption isn't bad because like the fact that the DEA raided his safe house and raided his home probably indicates that someone talked, right? Like it definitely indicates that someone talked. So like his assumptions and his leaps are kind of like logical. They come from a logical place, I think.
Sure. Well, especially when one guy turns up missing. And he's not answering the phone anymore. It's like, yeah, well, I mean, where there's, Occam's razor,
Sure, for sure. Okay, so Jesse says, dude, I love Jesse kind of like catching on to the fact that Tuco's not aware that Gonzo's dead, right? So you plan to ice Gonzo like future tense?
What a fucking idiot.
I know. So Tuco's solution to this is that he needs to get high, right? Like this is the last thing that he needs. Like he is sweating, dude. He's sweating through that fucking silk shirt. Like he is, like his brain's about to explode. He takes the rice and meth, and Jesse's trying to really kind of like push him into taking it, right? He's like, no, it's killer. Like, come on, Jesse. Come on, Jesse.
Yeah, he might as well be Steve Buscemi, like, hello, my fellow kids. Like,
Yes.
come on,
yes.
that's Scante. I'm like, calm down, dude. Calm down.
God. Tuco wants to take them out to Mexico, set them up in the super lab, do nothing but cook 24/7 because he's got federal connections, right, with the federales. And he says that his cousins are on their way down here to transport them there. And Walt says, Tuco, I have a wife and family. And Tuco is just like, so you'll get another one.
What a
talk about a disparity between these two guys' lives, right? Like this is like Walter is all in on his family and Tuco just nothing. Like there's no connection at all.
That's what's dangerous to me about Tuco is the fact that, whatever, he'll probably kill you or you could wake up with like a gun in your ass or something crazy, but also at the same time of like planning to absolutely disrupt your life and everything around it for his own personal gain. Like that's like psychopathy, it's like that's narcissistic crazy shit. That scares the hell out of me more. This unrealistic narcissism is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, and just the fact that people are just so easily able to say something like that or do something like that. Like, it's just wild. Walt says he can't uproot his life like that. And it's just like, dude, I'm just like, Walt, I don't think you have a choice here, man. Like you're negotiate, you're trying to bargain and negotiate, and you're trying to like let this madman know of your situation. But do you think he gives a fuck? Jesse really tries to get Tuco to take the meth. Says it kicks like a 12 gauge and it's got a secret ingredient. Turns out Tuco hates chili powder.
Turns out Aaron Paul has a huge head. I was watching, I was like, God damn, dude, you got this like tiny little neck and this little body on this big ass head. You look like one of the pet. Yeah, you look like one of the pet boys running around with a big ass head.
Oh God. Marie talks, dude, Marie. Actually, I think the very fact that they haven't found him yet bodes well. We would have smelled something by now.
Not a bad point, executed poorly. Like, the fact that you haven't found him is actually kind of, means he could be on the move. Which means he's alive. I see your point. I do. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, because they could smell the dead, rotting cancer flesh from a mile away because he's dead and he'll never come back because he's dead. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like, yeah, it has probably got his asshole picked out by vultures. Jesus. Calm down.
Fuck. A little bit of sensitivity would go a long way, I think. Right? Like, especially after the tiara bullshit that you just pulled. Like, Right.
Well, and I don't want to jump too far ahead, but when she drops the second phone.
We're here, yeah.
The look Hank as Skyler's, he's like, I will skull fuck you. I will fuck you into tomorrow. Jesus Christ. I love that.
I think it's good because she needs a good fucking. Like, she's a little uptight. But yeah, like you said, dude, like Maria asked about the second cell phone, spilling the beans, forcing Hank to tell Skyler about the second phone. And Skyler picks up on this and she's not going to drop it, right? Like, I mean, once you've entered the breach, you're not going to drop it.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
No way. Like, it's too suspicious, right? I mean, especially Hank being a DEA officer with resources.
My wife has been missing for 48 to 72 hours, and I think she has a second cell phone, but we'll just talk about that later. No, hell no.
No. Yeah, it doesn't get dropped at all. Hank responds with, Walt has a secret, everyone's got one. Marie very rightly brings up the fact that Walt kept cancer from her for weeks. I mean, look, it like the point is correct, but I don't know if the execution is, if it's the correct, if it's the best way to bring it up.
I'm not saying that, like, I mean, I don't know. If I went to the doctor and the doctor's like, you have a terminal disease, I don't know if I go home and tell right away. I don't know if I hold it in for a couple of weeks. I'm just not that type of person. I'm very like, I'm not saying I have a problem like expressing myself, but when it's something to that level of like my own mortality, that's something I think I need to process by myself for a little while.
I think I think I agree. I think a couple of days, not weeks. Like, I think
because then it starts running, and
100%. The extent that Walt went to was a little excessive, but I think if I find out that I have a terminal disease, I try and process it by myself. Fucking go to the movies, get my mind off it, kind of thing. Try and do other things to get my mind off it, and then formulate in my mind a way to tell my partner. Like, like just break it to them easily because I know that they're going to react in the worst way possible. But
partner, what partner?
Yeah.
You're going to fucking die alone. No,
hey, man, I've got my right hand.
Yeah,
I've got my
exactly.
right hand, all right? It's okay, baby. You didn't mean that.
That's what I call my infinity gauntlet. Because she's never
absolutely.
going away. Somebody comes in and
this-
chops your fucking hand off.
And the infinity stones are my balls. But
Right. They're all blue.
But no, yeah. Fucking hell, Jesus Christ. If there's any ladies out there, I'm single.
Right, yeah. As of this recording.
You
gotta stop your opening line with, so I do a podcast, and you're like, oh, cool. You can feel the vaginas dry up.
Oh, you reckon? You reckon I got to change it up now? Fuck. God
You gotta change it up. I'm a lawyer, bitch.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, I work out. Oh, really? I can't tell.
I'm tall, dark, and handsome, and I'm a lawyer.
Right. Marie asks what about the marijuana, right? Suggests that he's maybe addicted to the pot and knows his drug dealer money. Marie orders Hank to question the drug dealer, i.e. Jesse.
Ballsy move for someone who is a kleptomaniac and won't deal with their own problems.
Indeed.
And feels that, dude, there's no way. If I'm Hank knows how to cover up a murder. Just gotta put it out there. Hank's a smart guy. I think Hank can make some people go away. And I think I know some people that need to go away.
Hank arrives at Jesse's parents' place and speaks to his mother. This is a fantastic scene. Like, I love this, all of this. Says that he's looking for his brother-in-law, Mr. White. She recognizes the name, says that he's one of the few teachers who actually cared about Jesse, which is interesting. I really... Like, we get this kind of like, we've got this before, right? Like, we get this suggestion before. Remember when, like, Jesse's, like, at his parents' place and he goes through, like, the tests and stuff? Like, wrong, apply yourself, right?
Exactly what I thought of.
Absolutely. Like, I like this. She's curious why Jesse and Mr. White would be in touch, and he says he doesn't know. She asks whether he's with the police, and he admits that he's with the DEA, to which she becomes very defensive. She asks about getting a lawyer, but Hank says that he's not here in an official capacity. Now, I do love the way that Hank has conducted himself here. Like, rather than barging onto this woman's property, declaring that he's a DEA agent and asking about Jesse's connection to Walt, he's instead appeared as like a normal civilian, right? Like, like he's kind of decided to withhold that information and just approach the woman as someone who is looking for his brother-in-law. Like, like he could, and I'm not saying that he can like compel her as a DEA agent to, give him information. It's just, I'm not going to use my position or status as a way to intimidate you to give me information. I've seen lawyers who take every opportunity to introduce themselves as lawyers and present themselves to people as lawyers rather than talk to people as people. Like, it's just, it's the first thing they'll say, oh yeah, I'm a lawyer. So in their mind, that's going to like put them as kind of like a cut above the other person, like it's kind of like,
manipulation tactic.
It's kind of like a manipulation tactic. It's kind of like a food chain thing. It's kind of like a power play, a structure thing. So, yeah, I love the way that Hank really kind of like walked up to this woman and withheld the fact that he is a DEA agent.
Well, plus it's like if you show up and if you infiltrate the base sneakily and start taking out guards, you have a better chance of getting to something. But if you walk in and just guns blazing, you're going to scare them off.
Right. It's it reminds me of that line from Inception, and it comes back all the time. It's when Leo says positive emotion trumps negative emotion every time, and I'm just like, yes, that is awesome. I dig that. But this poor woman, though, like, I haven't seen my son in over a month, and I don't expect to see him anytime soon. Like, she sells the heartbreak, dude. I actually really dig this. And Hank confirms that Jesse's still driving the '89 Chevy Monte Carlo, calls Gomez asking if it's got low jack and wants to know if he can get a fix on the location.
So wait, what is it? What exactly is he doing here? He's somehow finding his car like through like GPS. I was kind of lost to this.
Yeah,
what is he doing?
So low jack. It's a type of kind of like a tracking device. I've got some more information on it here. So let me just read from the usual book that I read from every week.
Yeah, go to our Bible, our BBB Breaking Bad Bible.
Indeed. LoJack technology. Hank uses the LoJack system installed in Jesse's Monte Carlo to track it to the desert. While putting an expensive tracking system on a late 80s model Monte Carlo might seem silly, car theft is a big business in the United States, and the cars most favored by thieves aren't the ones you probably think they are. While flashy, pricey, new models can be targets for thieves, the three most common stolen cars are the 1994 Honda Accord, the 1995 Honda Civic, and the 1991 Toyota Camry.
I was going to say Toyota Camry. Holy shit.
Yeah. All three cars are popular for street racing, and all three predate modern anti-theft technology such as microchips that prevent a copied key from being used to start the car. The LoJack, opposite of hijack, get it, was founded in the late 1970s with a simple idea. Rather than installing an alarm to alert the owner and scare off a thief, the LoJack system works to recover a stolen car. The LoJack system works through a small transceiver hidden in the car that is activated when the theft is reported. Police then follow the silent radio signal to track and recover the car. So I guess in this situation, I know that Walt and Jesse, by the time Hank gets out to the desert, are kind of like on top of their situation. It kind of saves their lives, right?
Well, yeah, well... Yes, and yeah, I guess so.
Because Hank and Jesse don't finish off Tuco. I think Tuco just keeps on coming. Even after this situation, he just keeps coming.
I don't know. I think eventually Tuco getting shot in the stomach.
No, you're wrong.
No, fuck you. No, I'm fucking wrong. I think that getting shot in the stomach, maybe he survives a couple of days or something, but this guy, he's not going to go to a hospital. He's not going to keep it clean. He's not going to stop. They're just going to get infected. He's going to die in a month.
See, here's the thing, though. I have information about how the show goes on and who the people that Tuco is relying on to help him in this situation right now that he's waiting for. I have information as to what they're capable of and what resources they have access to.
So these are the producers of his tap dancing show with his uncle Tio.
Yes,
Gotcha.
100%. So back in hell, Tuco's firing up a feed while taking sniffs of the good old blue meth. Jesse and Walt argue under their breath. Dude, I kind of like this side kind of argument they're having, this out of the side of the corner of their mouths.
He's waving his hand in front of T.O.
Dude, he's checking Hector's capacity, right? Did he see the news report? I love it. And just the pan shitting moment when the news just clicks on and it's Gonzo's photo. Oh, fantastic. The level of tension here, dude, it's fantastic. If this madman turns his back and sees the TV and sees Gonzo's dead, he's going to assume that we spoke to the cops. Oh, love it. They try and devise a plan. Jesse suggests bum rushing Tuco, crack him over the head or something.
Bum rush this guy, Jesus.
Jesse says, hey, dude, this might be the lowest thing Jesse said in a while. Jesse says, hey, you got the C-bomb. You're as good as checked out already. You should be all sacrificial jumping on the grenade. This motherfucker thinks it should be like Captain America.
Right. I laughed and then I was like, no, that's fucked up. That's still fucked up.
Look, he's not wrong. But he's thinking how a teenager thinks, right? He's hey, your quality of life, it's not that great. My quality of life, I'm about to turn things around.
Right. I'm young, you're old, you're sick, I'm not.
Right. Tuco orders them to eat, makes them burritos, and Tuco talks to Tio, asks him to eat. I like the way that Tuco interacts with Tio. He's mean, he's aggressive with him, but he also cares about him in a fucked up way, right? He's come on, dude, let's eat, you know?
He cares about him in the way that people get a puppy, and then after it's not a puppy anymore, they chain it up to a stick in the ground and leave it outside all year round.
Because they didn't understand the type of responsibility that it takes to look after one.
And he's man, these old people, you take care of them, you put them in a nice crib. And I was where's that at?
Yeah, this quite clearly, this isn't the place. Are we far from that location?
That's what blows my mind. I'm dude, how much money has he made off of his operation? You stick this guy in here? That's fucked up, dude. I was that's really fucked up.
Tio spots Walt hastily jamming the rice and laced meth into Tuco's burrito, and just as Tuco goes to eat, you get the ding from the bell. What'd you think about this?
Well, it's really great whenever he sprinkles it on and you can see. I keep calling him T.O., but what is it, Hector?
So T.O. is the grandfather, like the what they call the grandfather, or uncle or whatever. It's a familial designation, but his name is Hector. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because T.O. is Spanish for uncle, and that T.O. and T.I. is like on, and I was like, okay, so he's his uncle. That makes sense. But yeah, once Hector when he sprinkles it on and he's getting pushed to the table and he's just like eyeballing Walt, I was like, oh shit, and I was like, so he's totally kind of coherent.
Mark Margolis's physical acting, I just want to point that out, dude. Just fantastic. You can see the rage behind his eyes, like the frustration, you know?
And the lip,
so good.
His lips constantly. Oh, man.
So good. And, man, Tuco swaps the plates, right? Like you said, old people, you feed them, you put them in a really nice crib in the country, and they got to steal the food off your plate. And Hector, with all the strength that he could possibly muster up, manages to knock the plate to the ground, to which Tuco blows up, right?
That burrito looks so good. I don't know. There's something about it that looks delicious. I'm like, I bet you Tuco can make an amazing, he's got the beef and chopping up onions. And I was like, this motherfucker, dude, look at Rachel Ray over here. He's got some good shit.
But dude, what a pinch-hitting moment when Hector just weakly looks up at Walt and just points his finger, like the wagging finger. Ugh.
Yeah. I love because it's something where it just looks like he's got claw hand from hitting the bell. And it's like, oh man, so different.
Tuco's just out here taking pot shots at the cows. What a fucking savage, dude. Like, he withdraws from the window and he's like, look, there's nothing left.
Jesus.
all while snorting more meth, dude. Just, again, Raymond Cruz, I love his reactions every time he snorts something. It's just such a big reaction. It's like, woo! Like, oh, God damn.
Have you never heard of the words low profile? Good God.
Yeah. Let me empty my M16 clip into this fucking wild animal right now. All while the DA is looking for us. Hector keeps dinging the bell, just staring at Walt and Jesse. What do you want? That hurt my throat. Fuck. Jesus Christ.
It's ominous. Dude, just the dinging of it is so ominous. Of just like, it's something that's just a ringing bell. What does that mean? But it's like every ding is one.
Danger.
It's like one. It's like somebody poking Tuco in the chest with their finger. It's just one more little
it's a little stab.
Goddamn.
It's a little stab every time, dude. Like it's something that's so innocuous and so like everyday, but in this particular situation it means danger. It means danger is coming. Like, I love it. One ding means yes, and we start in with the questions, right? You don't trust them, ding. Walt wants to see where this is going and tries to calm Tuco down. And again, man, the tension here is just fucking outstanding, right? Like, this is like, there's no music, there's no score. It's just ambient noise. It's just them asking questions in close-ups. It's fantastic. What did you do to my T.O.? Oh, just
that's
great.
Good.
You can see the look in Walt's face. It says, look, as he just stares at Hector, dude. The look on Walt's face is, please, old man, please don't do this for us.
Right.
You know?
Everybody knows what's going on except Tuco.
Right, exactly. And that's interesting. Everybody knows what's going on except Tuco, the man supposedly in charge of the situation. It's good stuff. But Hector doesn't relent, right? Answering in the affirmative when Tuco asks whether they're punking him. And man, I love as Tuco grabs Jesse, the smile on Hector's face is brilliant as he leads him outside. Did you catch that?
Yes,
that level
I did.
of satisfaction. Oh, so good, man. Tuco beats the brakes out of Jesse, yelling as Walt asks him to tell him what he did. Jesse manages to grab hold of a rock. Walt sees this and he says, "We tried to poison you because you're an insane, degenerate piece of filth and you deserve to die."
No,
Boom.
not a single curse word in there. That's kind of nice. Walter can just cut somebody down. You're a fucking piece of shit.
That was actually very hurtful, very effective. I like it.
Right.
But yeah, dude, boom. As Jesse hits Tuco with the rock, Walt grabs the rifle but can't get a clear shot. In the scramble, Jesse manages to get a hold of Tuco's sidearm and just plugs him, right? Kicks him into a ditch.
I really like this because Walter had to kill Crazy 8, And now it's like, Jesse, now it's your turn to actually kind of take the lead. You've got to do this. And even though I think Walter could have just walked up point blank and shot him in the back of the head, don't be a bitch about it. But I was amazed that Tuco, he's strangling Jesse and like fighting him. And I guess he's just so rocked from the head blow that he doesn't think, oh yeah, I have a gun in my back, back waist, thing. But it's so great because him being ballistic and him being such a physical annihilator of just Mad Dog. Yes, it gives Jesse the key to like, okay, scoop, and just takes that gun.
Clearly,
like, damn,
right? Like think about the level of clarity that you kind of need to be thinking about. Like I'm feeling this guy's back. Oh shit, it's a gun. Pulling it out, and then
right. Well, and then once he actually gets shot and he falls back, seeing Tuco scream in pain was like, whoa. I was like, it's almost like watching, it's when you see the villain that has just been so unbeatable this whole time and it's just not susceptible to any kind of blows. It's like watching Pennywise actually get hurt in it, where you see him like, whoa, dude, I haven't seen that side of this person before, That's really cool. I like that a lot.
Absolutely. Jesse's in tears as Walt tells Jesse to let him bleed. That's pretty savage, right? Let him bleed out. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, fuck him.
That's baller, dude. They try and make their getaway just as who arrives, right? Like Walt and Jesse thinks it's the cousins, but boom, huge reveal as we see Hank arrive. What was going through your mind?
I honestly, had I not known how the show was going to turn out with Hank and everything, I was like, dude, Hank's about to die. I was like, there's no way. He's off guard. He's outmanned. He obviously doesn't have any of the weapons as this guy does. He's probably got a gun on him, maybe a little ankle gun and, his service weapon. But I was like, dude, the fact that all Tuco has to do is look over and be like, oh, here's a fully loaded automatic M16 with 2 clips. It's like, well, Jesus,
all he needs
dude.
to do is reach for it, right?
Right, exactly. Oh, man, had I not known what was going on, I seriously thought Hank probably would be killed right here.
Just a beautiful pinch-hitting moment, dude. Like this is absolutely fantastic. This reveal, like Hank and Tuco just get into this standoff. Hank initially thinks it's Jesse standing by his car, right? Like he's like, Jesse Pinkman, But once he gets a better look and sees that it's Tuco, he starts to get defensive, and he's just like, oh fuck, I know exactly who this is. He literally says to himself, oh shit,
I actually like watching Hank be arrogant. He's like, you're a hard man to find. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh no.
Yeah.
And seeing that arrogance.
It's like you're letting the air out of the balloon, right? Like, yeah, it's so good. Moment of tension as Tuco slowly reaches for the rifle in the car. And man, I just love Hank getting behind the door of his car for cover, going prone, dude. Like you can tell he's trained. He's totally trained in this kind of like warfare. And as Tuco goes to reload, Hank waits for him to pop up before boom, headshot, baby.
Ooh,
awesome.
I love the frame this ends on, by the way. Not to jump to right to the end of him just standing over him with the gun and the car.
Totally.
I was like,
we're here. We're here, right? This is the end. Walt manages to get a good look at Hank, and he just absolutely takes a wicked shit in his pants before running off into the desert. Hank closes in on the deceased Tuco before we cut to black with the sound of Hector's ding, ding, ding. And that's it. That's Grilled.
I'm watching right now, season 2, episode 3. It's starting. Here it comes. What are they doing? They're digging something.
Turn that shit off. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back next week.
Yeah, right. Just shut it down.
But yeah, man, that's Grilled. Man, episode 2, season 2. That is one of my favorite episodes in the entire seasons, if not the show, man. Like it's really, really shows you the level of detail. I mean, like the level of tension that we're probably going to be introduced to for the rest of the show. It takes you out of Albuquerque, which was interesting. I really like that setting of the desert and just kind of like helplessness. Like, no one else is going to be able to help Tuco and Jesse here.
They're not in Albuquerque right there?
No, I think they're headed south.
New Mexico. Okay, so they're still in New Mexico, though.
They're still in New Mexico. I believe that they're still in New Mexico. Yeah, I think they're just kind of like headed closer to the border so they can be transported. But yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
They're definitely nowhere near the suburb city that we're kind of like introduced to, I think.
Yeah, they're not in Kansas anymore.
Right, exactly. But it's kind of like that first kind of like foray into what the fuck are we dealing with now? Like, we decided to make meth. We're in this bigger world now. This is fast fast getting out of control, right?
Well, you just killed I guess it's not like whacking Billy Bats and Goodfellas like a made man, but you just killed a person with links to the cartel. Like,
yes.
But
not only that, you've also just come very close to being apprehended by a member of the DEA, Hank or not. You know, you were 20 feet away from like jail time. You know, it's crazy.
And now my next thought is because obviously at some point Hank will have an interaction with Jesse. Your car is out here. It's been shot to pieces, and there was an M16 sitting in the front seat. So what the hell happened? Because it's like, obviously, you know, and I'm trying to think, I'm like, well, Jesse has the gun, so there's no I guess there's really no fingerprints or anything anywhere, but like, what was left behind maybe that one of them interacted with that they could be like, oh, here's this, you know, bag of meth with Walter's prints on it. Like, oh shit. Like, what exactly happened that could tie them there? Well, what exactly is it that 6 degrees of separation will link Walter to this? So I definitely don't know if, like, I don't know. It's going to be kind of tricky that as soon as Tuco dies and Jesse is found, Walter turns back up. It's like, oh, what will be the explanation for this? You know, that's what I'm excited about.
We'll get that. We'll absolutely get that. And I can't wait for you to see it. You know, whether it's in the next episode or the coming episodes, but yeah, we'll get that 100%.
I'm starting it right now.
It's explained. Yeah, go for it, dude. It's fucking, we're done with grilled. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here on this episode of Bad Crystal, a Breaking Bad podcast. Colin, do you have anything else you want to plug before we get out of here?
No, man. This has been a lot of fun. I like this episode a lot. I'm definitely hooked now of how exactly in the world now that the situations have become even more outrageous, the explanations kind of demand the same thing. What are the outrageous explanations to keep yourself covered? And I know eventually what will happen with Skyler, and that can be taken care of. But Hank, what is the outrageous explanation that keeps Hank at bay? That's what I'm interested in.
Absolutely, and that's the initial hook of the show, right? Like, I mean, you're a meth cook, right? You're a meth chef, but your brother is a DEA agent, right? And like, the writers know that that's a hook. So yeah, they'll keep playing that out. But yeah, man. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here in another episode of Bad Crystal. We will see you on the next episode, which is episode 3, Bit by a Dead Bee. We'll see you then. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. Remember to rate and review the show, join us on Patreon, and check out our main show, Midnight Double Feature. We're everywhere on all socials, which we already plugged, so I'm not going to do it again. It's only been an hour since we plugged it, so I'm not going to plug it again. Check the show notes if you guys want further information. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you guys on the next episode.